Welcome back to Performance Tooling Secrets. I'm Mitch Baer, CEO of PT Solutions. And today we're talking about one of the most useful tools in the milling world, the indexable square shoulder mill. Now, I'm not a fan of using square shoulder mills as a go-to roughing tool. Lead angle face mills, high feed mills, and solid carbide using HEM are more efficient, and with the growing popularity of HEM, square shoulder mills seem to be used less and less. But in the right situations, they're a much better option. With HEM, you want to use as much of the flute length as possible, but I see a lot of cases where the depth of cut is less than 1 or 1.5 times D, and the shoulder is relatively wide. In these cases, shoulder mills are a better option. Shoulder mills end cut way better than solid carbide, and they like to run at a greater than 50% step over. Not to mention the cost per index is substantially less than a solid carbide end mill. Following a high feed to finish a floor or a wall, cutting relatively shallow shoulders, stepping down a wall that's too tall for a solid carbide are great situations to apply indexable shoulder mills. But please, don't treat it like a face mill. If you're just facing, you're sacrificing performance versus a lead angle face mill. If you need a shoulder, use a shoulder. I classify shoulder mills into 3 categories: single side, double side, and tangentially mounted. Single side shoulder mills have the most positive cutting geometry and the broadest range of options for cutter diameter, reach, corner radius, and insert selections. They're also the most versatile, from ramping to slots, steps, pockets, even profiling. If you need a clean corner, they're a great option. Double-sided shoulder mills have a more neutral axial rake, but with a positive radial rake. This is a strong geometry and ideal for shell mill style bodies, 2-inch and bigger, stepping down a tall wall, or milling a wide, shallow shoulder, but they typically don't ramp well, if at all. Tangentially mounted shoulder mills have a similar geometry, but are mounted from the side rather than the face of the insert. This makes for an even stronger cutting edge. They work best in diameters 2 inches and up, but again, little to no ramping capability. Now let's talk about gauge length. This is especially important for shoulder milling, where all the force is against the side of the tool. Shorter is always better, and the smaller your spindle, the more critical it is. Every bit of additional gauge length increases vibration, reduces tool life, and reduces accuracy. You can turn a perfectly good cutter into a tuning fork. If the setup looks sketchy, it probably is. It's worth getting another holder to minimize your total gauge length. For successful milling with indexable square shoulder mills, use them in the right situations, use the right insert geometries, feed them like you mean it, and keep the tool overhang as short as you can. Do those things, and square shoulder milling becomes an efficient and cost-effective part of your processes. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe for more Performance Tooling Secrets.